Hey guys, it's Scott with Scottie B Cards, and in this video I'm answering your baseball card hot takes. Baseball Card Hot Takes is a series where I will have you submit your hot take statements and I will answer them to my best ability. I'll let you know if I agree or disagree, and I actually poll my audience on Instagram and they say if they agree or disagree as well. So we can get an idea what my thoughts are and what my audience's thoughts are. First hot take, the new lottery ticket Topps Now format sucks. If you aren't familiar, basically there are moments from the game. So like Otani 50-50 home run, you can get a piece of his game-worn pants from that game or his game-worn batting glove in that game and an autograph. But the odds of getting it are extremely rare. That particular example is from a set more so than a Topps Now just it's single card release. But if you did a Topps Now single card release, basically you're just buying the base card and everybody has a random chance of getting a parallel or an autograph relic, all that good stuff. So yes, it essentially feels like a lottery. And in order to get in, a lot of these big moments, all these cool images, all these iconic moments are now Topps Now cards and aren't being saved for the better sets, which bugs me in my personal opinion. And I think it does suck. I don't want to buy a Topps Now card. I want to get a cool image in a pack of baseball cards and get a parallel that way and get it in the secondary market versus going directly through Topps.com and they're just printing money. They're just printing money. The bigger the moment, the more money they make. Not a big fan of it. I understand why people who've been doing Topps Now for years are. This has been around for a very long time, years and years, but the new way they're doing it and pushing it is they're keeping a lot of the premier cool stuff in Topps Now. So I'm not a big fan, and neither are a lot of collectors just because of the format, but to each their own. You bought 5 different cards and you don't get a parallel, you'll just get a container with 5 cards in it and the exact same card, no parallels or autographs. So not a big fan of Topps Now, but to each their own. Again, there are more undervalued pitchers that will have Tariq Skubal type breakouts. If you aren't familiar, Skubal is going to win the Cy Young this year. He won I believe he won the Triple Crown, the pitching Triple Crown, and had an amazing year. His cards were cheap. Now they're not cheap. They're not expensive, I would say, because he's a pitcher who's a little bit older, but they are up. And I agree 100% with this hot take, but I don't have the risk appetite to actually go out and buy random pitcher cards and hope they have a Tariq Skubal type season, because Triple Crowns winning the Cy Young don't happen to every single pitcher. A lot of injuries are out there, but absolutely, we're going to have breakout pitchers all the time. Who knows if they can maintain that particular performance, but those that have these pitcher cards will be rewarded. So if you want to speculate, I don't know if it's a good idea, but you absolutely could make money in this particular way. So I agree, there are definitely sleeper pitchers out there because people aren't paying attention to them for whatever reason. We've never paid attention to pitchers, just kind of a part of the baseball card hobby overall. Bowman Chrome Rare Color Refractor Non-Autograph should do way more than 10% of the autographs. If you don't know what he's talking about, what he's saying is there's Bowman Chrome autographs. It's like the most sought after card of a player. Let's say there's a red out of 5 and it's autographed by the particular player. That's one of his best cards ever made. But there's also a red out of 5 base card with the first logo, just no autograph. Those have always lagged behind. Not just like the red example, but like the blues and the golds and the oranges and the neo disco wave refractors. Everywhere we have now, they've always lagged behind the autographs. Should they be higher? I don't know, to be honest. Probably, but at the same time, people love the rookie logo. People love when the player makes the team and is in a uniform on the field, usually with the action shot from the game. People have always loved that. And prospecting and not gambling, it's not, maybe investing is the right term. Prospecting and investing and buying the Bowman Chrome autograph is a part of baseball cards since 2001 with Albert Pujols, got bigger with Mike Trout 2009. And it's just a big part of the sports card world. But at the same time, those base cards have never really carried a premium. Should they be worth more? Probably. I think they should be. Will they ever be worth more? I have no idea. Baseball card collectors collect the way they do because they like the rookie card and they like the Bowman Chrome autographs. And that's just kind of the way that it's always been. I don't have confidence it'll change. Maybe that gap will shrink a little bit, but who knows? It's a big fundamental change for people. Baseball insert cards are incredibly underappreciated and more insert sets should be loved. Okay, so here's my issue with baseball card insert sets. A lot of the flagship insert sets kind of suck. There's a lot of really good ones like Topps Finest or Bowman's Best or Topps Chrome Cosmic. Great baseball card insert sets. But like flagship usually doesn't have many good ones. They've done recently the Hidden Gems, which is great. They've done recently like the Home Field Advantage, which is great, and other things like that. But historically, there weren't a lot of great valuable inserts. I like when they do they actually do like homage to like the 1989 set, and they have like that parallel and that particular insert and stuff. But overall, yes, they should probably be worth more. Some of the cooler inserts, there's SPs like in Topps Gallery that doesn't exist, the Gallery of Heroes, stained glass. It's amazing, really great cards. Baseball card inserts definitely feel underappreciated to me, especially because we're not solely looking at the Topps flagship, which I mean Series 1, Series 2, and update particular cards. Here's an example. This is a Mookie Betts. This is his Future Stars stained glass style card out of 25. This card should be worth more than what I paid for. I paid $98. I bet you this would be worth more now than what I paid, but at the same time, I understand what he's saying. Early 2000s cards are heavily underrated. This is funny to me because I agree, and I felt this way for a long time, and some people have said that I'm off base, that they're too boring, that they're too simple and straightforward. But at the same time, it feels like as we progress throughout this era, we're looking at the past eras and saying, man, that was better. We're romantic about those eras. We see this all the time with TCG, like Pokemon. So they have different blocks depending on the game. So in Pokemon, they have like the Scarlet and Violet era and the Sword and Shield era from the different video games. They make sets off of those. And because of that, the previous eras usually go up once the era is over. It's probably what's happening here. We saw a big boom in the 90s. Now we might see a 2000s boom. Eventually we'll see an early 2010s boom and so forth in regards to people going back and being nostalgic about those products. Yes, I think these sets are undervalued. They're great. There's a lot of competition with different manufacturers, but I think a lot of it is nostalgia. There's also less cards and less parallels, and this could be primed to blow up. Who knows? But we'll have to see what happens. But I do agree they probably are undervalued, underrated compared to modern cards. Only 3 sets are worth investing in, not flipping. Topps, that's Topps Update Flagship, Series 1, Series 2. Topps Chrome, and Bowman, which is like Bowman and Bowman, Chrome and Bowman Draft. I disagree, surprisingly. I am all about maintaining simple numbers of sets, but I do think there are a few missing sets. One of the biggest ones is like Topps Dynasty. Topps Dynasty is going to be sought after, in my opinion. Their cards are going for some of the most for all these given players, and because of that, I do disagree. There's going to be more that kind of seeps in, especially like Heritage. That's a big one I didn't even mention. Heritage has been around forever, and Heritage will have value. The Red Ink autographs will have value. The Real One base autographs, the Chromes out of 5, the gold Chromes will have value. So those all could be investing and flipping sets as well. Dynasty, Heritage, and others. So I don't think it's just those 3. If you stuck to just these 3 the rest of your collection, yes, that's good for investing. You could branch out to like Dynasty or Heritage. Just be careful because there's other random sets that might feel similar, but they just don't have the same amount of collectors behind them, which is always confusing if you're new. But if you want to just stick to good stuff, stick to these 3, and Heritage and Dynasty is probably your best bet. The Otani market is a bubble ready to pop. Man, that's a great question. If Otani does not come back pitching because he tore his labrum and had surgery, it was his non-pitching shoulder, and it's his back arm on his swing. That's good for him. His right arm's fine, but that could delay him. And if that delays his hitting production, and on top of that, he can't pitch until later, and he has a setback pitching, that could hurt his cards, and I don't think the bubble's going to pop, but we could see it come down a little bit. Do I think that's going to happen? Whenever I doubt Otani, he does really, really well, and his cards go up, so I'm not going to say yes or no. But it's one of those things, I wouldn't say we're in a bubble. If he continues performing well, I think his cards are just fine. It all depends on Otani's performance at this point. Rare 90s cards will do a much better job retaining value relative to ultra modern rare cards, like right now being released. I would agree. We have nostalgia to Griffey, to Barry Bonds, to all these different players, like I mentioned for the 2000s cards. And it feels like those cards are going to maintain value because there's a ton of scarcity, whether artificial or real, around those cards. They printed serial numbered cards really for the first time back then. And that card is going to have a lot of nostalgia around it. It's going to be a very established market. So I do think those on like the rare stuff is going to have value, but a lot of the base 90s, those don't have any value. There's not a lot of like rare stuff that has a ton of value. And I feel like overall now, like there's going to be cards to collect, just like there's cards to collect in the 90s, just like the 2010s. Every era is going to have cards worth buying from that era, regardless of how bad it feels in that era, in my personal opinion. Maybe I don't show that well enough in my content, but every era is going to have a card or set or a product that people are going to be gravitating towards as time progresses. So I don't think the 90s are really just going to totally kick the butt from this era. It might be more straightforward in what to buy in the 90s, and those are definitely going to have value. We'll have to see how it plays out overall. Okay, so those are my hot takes for this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you agree with and disagree with. And other than that, I will see you in the next video.